What's up, everyone? So it's a Sunday morning and we're gonna run some fuel lines. So this is kind of excited for this because I've been doing brake lines and fire lines for like a week straight, and I'm ready to move on to something else because it's a little tedious. The only thing we have left on the brake lines is from the line lock down in there to the T that will run up underneath there, like I just talked about last night. And then I got to run one across. So not terrible. That'll be pretty quick. But I'm waiting for that fitting I was talking about, with a T with one of the legs that has the bulkhead on it. So it'll make it a little cleaner, I think, even though it's up underneath the dash and nobody's ever going to see except for me. It's the little things. So waiting on that. Waiting on a straight connector for the fire bottle on the other side, because so to get it from this tank is for the auto block, and the auto block is up underneath that carbon panel over there. So I got to run that down that upright, forward, over, meet up with that one, run it there, go up the firewall, go around that T that's in there that I put in there last night, go all the way across the firewall, go up to the dash bar, down the dash bar a little, and then down that auto block. So it would have been like a 150, 160 inch long run, and there's no way I can do that in the car. So I'll probably do from the fire bottle down, probably right at the firewall. I'll just use a bulkhead connect, not a bulkhead, just a straight connector, and then make the second piece up and over, just because it wouldn't have worked. It was too long of a run. Those long runs are tough because you're guessing most of the time at what bends you need. So yeah, that's kind of the plan. So today I'm going to be running some fuel lines. I'm going to do the fronts first. I may do the transmission lines if we get there. Fuel lines are pretty easy. I just kind of got to mock it up, and then it'll be pretty much ready to crimp and whatnot. So at least you guys can see some crimping on our BMRS fittings. So yeah, I'm going to start working on that, start laying out some fittings, take you guys along for the ride. Okay, so you guys saw I got got some fittings mocked up here. It is nice having all the fittings over in the parts inventory, because I can just lay out things how I want without having to just buy random fittings and hope they work. So this is super nice. I think what the plan is what I can come up with in my head, is there's a 45 on here. We're gonna have it angled up a little bit. So it's going to come up here, pass right by the filter, and then go over here to the 180, feed the pump, and then come out of the pump into the filter over here, and then come up out of here. And I have these ball valves. So these are two male ends. I'm going to get one with a male and a female, and it is going to go right here. That way, when we do the rear fuel cell for drag and drive events, I can shut off so it doesn't backfeed the pump and the filter. I'm gonna have a shut off here, so it'll probably stick up about that far, and then we're gonna turn it and go I have this Y here. It's a 12 to 2-8s, so it's going to be here, and it's basically just going to feed the rails, and we'll do our crossover in the back. One of the crossovers is probably going to have a T of some sort, and that will have a shut off on the back T. That way we can use the pump gas for those drag and drive vents. It'll basically fill both rails with pump gas, and it'll cross over where the Y is. Not ideal flow for the Y to get into the other bank. So kind of have to see how that plays out. I think it'll be fine if we don't, make a lot of power, but there'll be plenty of fuel in the rails. Especially 2 sets of 210s on pump gas would be fine. So we'll kind of see how that works out. Kind of, we're going in uncharted territories doing that stuff. So I'm probably gonna get this line down here, over to the 180, and then I'll probably zip tie these together so it holds it up and away from like the balancer and stuff. So that's kind of what we're working with right now. I'll show you guys how we measure and whatnot. All right, so I got my length of hose here. It's up on a coil on top of the motor right now. But what makes these fittings nice is I can totally lay out how I want this to run, and kind of see the length I need. Maybe if I can get it on that. So this is the expander they provide. Basically just opens up the fuel line enough to slide it on, because it's like a convoluted inside. It's not your normal like braided line. So I don't know if you guys can see that or not. It's kind of ribbed in the inside, and it's super lightweight, and I can make bends like that without any issue. So if you guys wanted to know why we went with BMRS for our hoses, that is why. All right, so I got that laid out. So I want it to probably run along here, up along there, and then drop down. So let's see. Let's make that a little tighter. It's a little difficult with the dash 12 just because it's a bigger line to run. So I think that's going to be our feed for the motor. And then, like I said, this one's going to come, after the pump to the filter. So I think I'm going to have these kind of tied together, for a little distance, just to keep this up and not from sagging down in the balancer. I think that's what we're going to do. The only problem I see with that is the timing pointer is kind of, I don't know, it's kind of difficult to see, so it's gonna be a little difficult to get timing readings. I might be able to put it on the other, nope, that one's tied up. So yeah, that's gonna not be great, but this is why we walk through things with you guys, because I know some don't get to see this aspect of it. You guys just see the finished product on, customer cars. You guys don't see the thought process on doing this. But a lot of time is spent out here just staring at things, just to figure out the best way to do it. So another issue is these two fittings from the water jackets. Those have to wire together to go, to the feed and to the return on the radiator. So yeah, little it's gonna be tight fittings. Not terrible, but not great either. So I think we're just gonna have to deal with that unless we roll this up on top. Then we're running into all the water pump stuff. That might not be bad because I can still see the pointer through here. So I might run that. I might run this as the feed from the pump, and then run this down to the tank. So this will probably be maybe something like this. Maybe something like that. That would give that probably enough room. I have a 90 over here. Let's see what it looks like. Maybe we can have those going off to that other side over there, out of the way. So that would be a 90. So that wouldn't be too bad. Let me go grab another 90 and mock up another one. Great. So that might be all right. That's gonna be tight. We got the return from the fuel pressure regulator to deal with also. We could always run these straight, which wouldn't be bad either. We could maybe split this, go under, do like a 45 under out in front, kind of come through here. This one could stay a 90. I'm more worried about fuel lines right now. The water is kind of an afterthought, but I do have the return for the fuel. Might be able to do like a 120 on that and come out up here and run it up and over. Yeah, it's gonna get real tight with fuel lines. The pump on the front is most of the issue. There's just a lot of, it makes it runs a lot shorter, but it makes it a lot more congested. So I think I might do that. That'll keep, I can still see the pointer right here, which is kind of important. Let me go grab a 10 120. All right, I just brought a bunch of fittings over, so that'll be easier. All right, so not ideal. Possibly do straights off of here. Oh, we got this return. I don't think we're gonna be able to split that. I think we need to get these two fittings out on the other side. Get these ran. All right, so that didn't take as long as I thought to think that through. I think it'd be best just to keep the feed on the 180 over there. You guys probably can't see it, but there is a 180 fitting over there. Yeah, so that way this is kind of out of the way. We can zip tie it to this, and it holds it up. And then this will be going to this. These will feed out maybe at a 45 over this way. One of these obviously is going to have to come down to the pump, but I think that clears up this area. That way we can run those over. So yeah, I'm going to, I already marked this down here where I need it cut. So I have it marked. So now we're going to take it over there and get it crimped. So basically I have this marked here. That's where I'm going to cut it. And basically just cut it with these. This works pretty good. I've heard a toothless little saw works pretty good also. This is just what we found works pretty good. So that's what we use. So this is the length that we needed for that line. I'm going to slide these over how they need to be on. So once these are crimped, there we we go. So these basically are the crimp rings. They're gonna go, you know, each end. So I put them on beforehand because we're gonna use the expander. Basically just opens this up, makes it a little easier to fit it on there. Let me grab some WD-40. So basically now that those are on there, I can go ahead and expand this. This is just, like I said, makes it easier for things to go on. All right, so now you guys see the finished product. So coming out of there, going up, this will get tied kind of down with this one. So those will get tied together just to give us, you know, a little better look. Get them tied together. Then it's 180 over here. So it does have has a pin that I was talking about for crimping. So I just taped it in there. I gotta hold it a special way to tap that in there, so I just have it taped in there right now. So, but that'll let us mock everything up. So that'll be that. I'm gonna make this next one and catch back up with you guys after I get that done. All right, so I think I'm pretty much wrapped up into here. Gonna go inside. So I got most of the fuel lines. Like I said, we're gonna have to order that 190 female to female. So it cleans up. I'm just trying to make things clean without having a ton of hose ends everywhere. So we'll have to figure out a Y for these, a Y for the back fuel line, and then got to figure out a few more things with like the turbo feed and the turbo drain. But other than that, we're getting there.